Hey guys, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box. My name is Jamie.
I'm Leia.
And it's been about 3 weeks since Samsung launched the new S series devices. And it's actually been a while since we've been really psyched about one of their flagship phones. Now, the three variants of the S10 have a great feature set, have great hardware under the hood, plus the cameras on these things are really fantastic.
Yep, and while most of the limelight has been on the S10 Plus for very good reasons, it's a great device. For this video, we want to focus on its smaller, cheaper brother, the S10e. We noticed that a lot of people are curious about it, looking for information, so we just want to share our thoughts and we will attempt to answer this question. Does the S10e offer the most value out of the three S10 variants?
I think it's only fair to start with the differences between the S10e and the S10 Plus, which are the two phones that we actually spent some time with the S10e being the smallest of the bunch.
Yep, it has a 5.8-inch screen versus the 6.4-inch screen of the S10 Plus. So yeah, it's significantly, noticeably smaller. Plus, it has no curves like the previous flagship devices of Samsung. So it has a more traditional appeal.
Yeah, so aside from that though, all three variants have the same panel. You have a dynamic Super AMOLED display, so picture quality between these three phones should be the same. Now the S10e does top up at full HD plus resolution, while the two other phones have Quad HD plus, but unless you're really nitpicking, you can't really tell the difference anyway, since it's a pretty tiny screen, relatively speaking. But like, I've been using the S10 Plus for about a week, and I do set it, I let it max out at full HD plus anyway to kind of just squeeze more battery life out of the phone.
Since we already touched on battery life, we might as well talk about the batteries of this phone. So the S10e has a 3100 mAh battery, so that's about 9 hours when we did the benchmark, versus the 4100 mAh battery of the S10 Plus, which translated to about 12 hours, 15 minutes when we did the battery benchmark test.
So in terms of real-world use, those 12 hours and 15 minutes on the S10 Plus actually translates into about a day and a half of moderate use, while on the S10e, you kind of have to make sure you're topped up before you leave the house so you just don't run out midday.
Yeah, the thing is they both have reverse charging, but we wouldn't recommend it on the S10e for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Unless you're desperate, you may run out of battery before the day ends.
Yeah, so make sure you kind of bring a power bank if you consider yourself a power user, or you just want to top up someone else's phone. Now, one of the biggest differences between the S10e and the other two S10 variants is the fact that it doesn't have the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner. Instead, it uses a capacitive fingerprint scanner mounted on the side of the phone.
Actually, when I tried it out, I like it. It was fast, it was accurate, it was easy to get to, which is a big deal for me because I have small hands, and I guess it has a lot to do with the fact that the phone is smaller than most phones out there.
So honestly, like, we've seen a lot of people have an aversion to the side-mounted fingerprint scanner on this phone, but personally, I've always liked them ever since like Sony's been doing it on their past Xperia devices, and I kind of prefer having capacitive fingerprint scanners instead of in-display ones, despite having more advancement in that technology anyway.
Another big difference between the S10 Plus and the S10e is that it only has 2 rear cameras instead of 3. So you get the 12 megapixel main shooter and the 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, which is awesome.
So aside from those cameras, you're only really missing out on that 12 megapixel camera on the S10 and S10 Plus, which have 2x optical zoom. And to be honest, we didn't really use it that much during our time with the device, so it's not that big of a deal. We'll talk about the cameras more in detail later, but yeah, you're not really missing out on much.
So going back to the original question, why do we think that the S10e offers the most value for money among the three S10 variants? Well, to begin with, they all have the same processor, the Exynos 9820.
So if you're buying a Samsung flagship in our neck of the woods, you are getting their flagship SoC, which is again the Exynos 9820. Now, people in the West will get a Snapdragon 855, so unless you're kind of that type of person to have that gnawing feeling that you just don't have like the best hardware available on your phone, at least on paper, then it might not be for you. The S10 series might not be for you, but again, we're at the point where technology, the improvements are a little incremental, and honestly, it's hard to tell the difference when you have both phones in hand or just experiencing them. Though I've had no complaints with the S10 Plus. John has now had no complaints with the S10e. They perform very fast. There were no lags. There were no delays when opening apps and stuff like that. For multitasking, it was a really good experience jumping through apps. And again, playing games on this thing was absolutely fantastic. So if you're just looking at pure processing power, then you know the S10e definitely gets a heads up or a thumbs up, or at least a leg up, should I say, since the price is a lot lower than the S10 Plus.
I know we already talked about the cameras a bit earlier, but let's discuss some more, because I know a lot of people, myself included, really look into the cameras before purchasing any smartphone. So let me start with this. The cameras of the S10 series are freaking amazing. You can't go wrong with them.
So again, with the S10 series, you're pretty much getting the same cameras across the board, except again, the S10e doesn't have that 12 megapixel camera, that third 12 megapixel camera with a 2x optical zoom. Not much of a deal breaker. We didn't really use it that much. We actually prefer going closer to your subject to take a better photo or frame your subject better. It's good to have on the other phones, but not really, yeah, it's good to have, but not a necessity, if I should say so myself. But aside from that, the dynamic range, the color reproduction on these phones, the picture quality, the sharpness, amazing. I mean, it's been a long, again, at the top of this video, I said it's been a long time since we've been hyped on a Samsung flagship, especially when it comes to the cameras, but the S10 series this time around really did it for us.
Yep, actually the two features that I used the most were live focus and best shot.
Yeah.
So I know that live focus was already available in their previous offerings, but they added effects aside from the usual bokeh. You get spin, you get zoom and color point. So it really makes the subject pop.
One of the things that they added with the S10 series is best shot.
Yeah, best shot is great if you're not a professional photographer like myself. But I do like taking landscapes, so I use it a lot in San Francisco. So the phone suggests the best shot, or at least what it thinks is the best shot, and takes it automatically for you. Now, don't get me wrong, it will not replace a creative photo, you know, I mean, your own creativity, but it does help a lot. Actually, also want to add that I use the ultra wide angle camera a lot. Again, great for landscape. You can get more of the place into one shot, and it was very impressive. It's one of the widest ultra wide angle
ultra widest
ultra wide I've ever used, so I'm very happy with that.
So while taking photos were pretty great on the Samsung S10 series, what actually impressed me was the video department. All the Samsung S10 series phones are capable of shooting 4K up to 60 frames per second, but it's the super steady shot that really impressed me. It's almost like hyper smooth technology, GoPro Hero 7 Black levels of stabilization. Not quite close, but if you're interested in making your own vlogs or just sharing videos with your friends, your footage will be extremely smooth on these phones. Again, available across all S10 series devices. So yeah, S10e definitely a lot of value for money for the cameras. So aside from having the same processor, pretty much the same cameras except for that 2x optical zoom, it pretty much has the same feature set as well. So all three phones have reverse wireless charging and capable of wireless charging as well. But again, use reverse wireless charging on the S10e sparingly, since you are only getting a 3100 mAh battery. So yeah, you will kind of need all that juice to make sure you last throughout the day. The phone has an IP67 rating, so it will survive accidental spills or in case your friends decide to throw you in a pool. Aside from that, you are getting Gorilla Glass 5 on the back of the phone to kind of prevent it from shattering, but again, by a case. Samsung is providing a lot of cool cases that we kind of saw during our session with the phones.
I haven't seen it in their stores,
in
the Philippines at least.
The LED covers are already there. but the Marvel cases, which a lot of people have been asking about, just aren't there yet. Hopefully they get released very soon. There's a lot of hype riding on Endgame and Captain Marvel right now. So yeah, definitely a lot of questions about that. But again, a lot of the feature set is the same processors, same camera, so you're definitely getting a lot of value on the S10e.
Let's talk about the price. The Samsung Galaxy S10e is priced at 39,990 pesos. Now, just so we can compare, the S10 is at 49,990 pesos and the S10 Plus is at 55,990 pesos. Now, that's a huge jump in terms of price. Yeah, huge difference. So, in my opinion, considering that most of the pertinent features are in the S10e anyway, I think it offers really good value for money.
So yeah, unless you want all the bells and whistles, a bigger screen, or maybe that in-display fingerprint scanner, we definitely think that the S10e provides the most bang for your buck if you are looking for a flagship from Samsung at this point in the game. Now, both phones, the S10e and the S10 Plus, have reviews up already in their website. I will leave a link in the description down below for you guys to check out.
So would you guys rock the S10e? Let us know in the comment section.
Alright, so that pretty much does it for this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss out on the next ones.
For the latest tech news and gadget reviews from the Philippines, head to Unbox PH and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
My name is Jamie.
I'm Leah.
Peace!
Bye!